Israel and Palestine. Names that symbolize one of the most enduring and bitter conflicts in modern history. But how did this struggle begin? And why is peace so elusive? To answer these questions, we first need to know the facts. At the heart of the Israel-Palestine conflict are competing claims to what is known as the Holy Land, an area in the Middle East important to several different groups due to its religious and historical significance. Though both Jews and Muslims have claims to the land dating back several thousand years, the modern-day conflict can be traced to the late 19th century, when Jewish immigration to Ottoman Palestine grew in response to anti-Semitism in Europe, with Zionism, a movement based on the belief in a national homeland for Jews after their exodus from ancient Israel, taking root. Tensions grew after World War I, when Britain took administrative control of the area that at the time was inhabited by a Jewish minority and a Muslim majority, among other groups like Christians. During this period, Britain made conflicting promises to both communities about whose claim to the land they would support. After escalating violence in British Mandatory Palestine, Britain withdrew when the UN proposed a Jewish state of Israel and an Arab state of Palestine. The plan failed to gain support, leading to the First Arab-Israeli War in 1948. During the conflict, Israel declared independence and ultimately emerged victorious. The First Arab-Israeli War, followed by a second in 1956, and the Six-Day War in 1967, saw Israel gain more territory and become an undisputed military powerhouse in the region. Palestinian civilians were pushed from their homes as Israel's boundaries expanded. An estimated 6 million Palestinians now live in global diaspora, with the right to return a key sticking point in the ongoing conflict. In the late 1980s, a series of Palestinian mass protests against Israeli occupation erupted in what is often known as the First Intifada. This was followed by the Oslo Accords in the 1990s, but the peace process broke down and the second, more violent Intifada erupted in 2000. This violence changed attitudes towards the conflict on both sides, complicating the potential for peace. The path to coexistence has been harrowing, with numerous, largely unsuccessful attempts at reconciliation. In 1993, the Palestine Liberation Organization recognized Israel's right to exist in peace, and Israel recognized Palestinian self-governance. This also marked the establishment of the Palestinian National Authority, which partially governs the West Bank. Later negotiations included the unsuccessful Camp David Summit and other peace talks throughout the early 2000s. In 2006, Hamas, which currently does not accept Israel's right to exist, won the 2006 Palestinian legislative election and took over Gaza the following year, which it has governed ever since, even further impeding peace talks. Tensions persisted between Israel and Palestine, particularly around issues like disputed borders, the creation of Palestine as a state, the status and control of Jerusalem, Israeli settlements in the West Bank, and the right to return for Palestinians. Clashes regularly broke out with both individual instances of violence as well as state-supported airstrikes and military action. According to the UN, between 2008 and October 6, 2023, there were over 6,000 Palestinian and over 300 Israeli fatalities linked to the conflict. On October 7, 2023, Hamas launched a surprise attack into southern Israel from Gaza, targeting civilian communities and military bases. More than 1,200 people were killed and over 240 taken hostage. The attack sparked a significant military escalation, with Israel tightening its blockade of Gaza and launching a massive retaliatory air and ground offensive. As of March 2025, about 1,200 Israelis have been killed, along with over 50,000 Palestinians, according to Gaza's Ministry of Health, a figure Israel disputes. In total, over 2 million people have been displaced. In January 2025, Israel and Hamas agreed to a ceasefire that would see Israeli hostages released in exchange for Israel's withdrawal from Gaza. However, 2 months later, the ceasefire collapsed, with Israel resuming military operations in Gaza. Facts do not tell the whole story. The pro-Israel narrative insists that the Jewish community has a right to a homeland that was rightfully theirs to start with. Israel has been more than willing to make peace and has attempted to do so numerous times throughout the last century, but it faces enemies that never could accept the presence of a Jewish state. The biggest roadblock to peace has been the Palestinians and their enablers' denial of Israel's right to exist. With powerful terrorist organizations just across the border who exist solely to destroy the Jewish homeland, Israel must protect itself and its citizens. Its actions in Gaza are simply self-defense, and any accusations of genocide are an attempt to pervert the meaning of the term. The pro-Palestine narrative asserts that Israel is a settler colonial entity and product of European colonialism in the Arab world. No one is denying that the Jewish community has historically faced persecution, but this doesn't mean that European Jews had the right to come to Palestine, ethnically cleanse the indigenous population, and establish an apartheid state that treats Palestinians and Arab Israelis as second-class citizens. There has been systematic state-supported discrimination and human rights violations going back generations, and Israel's latest actions in Gaza can only be labeled genocide. The only just solution is the end of the war in Gaza, the end of Israel's illegal occupation, and the establishment of a Palestinian state. What do you think? Is there a possibility for peace? If so, what would it look like? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most important stories.